All right. Part 2 with Tina Santiago. Is that how you say it? Santiago?
Santiago.
Santiago.
You're not going to be able to do it.
No, I'm not.
No.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. Where we left off, your grandmother. Sorry, I always forget this.
And we're double fisting.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, not bad.
When she means double fisting, folks, she's talking about two drinks.
because they can't. Yeah, that's
just
right.
2 drinks.
Well, you said hot and heavy before.
I know.
That's actually kind of funny.
Okay.
Yes.
So your grandmother was a medium.
Yes.
Okay. And you said you have witnessed an exorcism and some shit.
So, it's just...
let's talk about the exorcism.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
From what I remember, she was sitting at the edge of the table. Like, there was a lot of bad stuff that was happening in our family, just in general. Like, just bad juju. Okay. Yeah. And in Santeria, you don't...
Where's Santeria?
Santeria, yeah.
Where's that?
No. In Santeria, like in the religion of
the
saints.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's the saints. It's religion of the saints. Like in what's this? Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't practice Santeria.
Yes.
Okay. I ain't got no crystal ball. So that was so
what
bad.
Kind of religion? What kind of religion?
It's praying to the saints.
Okay.
So you don't.
So there's no God. There's saints.
It's their saints. I mean, you still have God. You still have the oaths.
Right, because somebody had to saint them.
But it's not. You don't put harm against other people. So when you hear black magic or like Wicca or anything like that, right? Yeah. They're putting spells or they're doing shit to harm somebody else. In Santeria, you don't do that because
aren't they protecting too? They have protection spells.
Yes, but there are some that are harming
to do a spell, like you're cutting off a chicken's head or.
There was chicken.
Oh God,
dude, you totally just hit it. We had to. There were 3 chickens.
You're fucking weird.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I didn't want to be in it. That's why I didn't want to do any of it because I was like, you guys are freaking weird.
Okay, tell me about the weird.
So there was one point I remember that they had to take 3 chickens at like a certain time of the day the certain time of the night on a certain day of like a solstice or whatever, and you had to put it in 3 different corners to protect your house.
Okay.
So, and they would do like prayers, not to harm anybody.
Okay.
It's to protect you.
Because you guys were having bad mojo.
We were having really bad mojo for a very long time.
Who cut the chickens?
Ruth. I think it was my mom. I don't remember. I didn't see the actual. I saw the chickens in the bag, and then I think Ruth was the one that like took the bag and then like swung it around and killed the chicken in the bag, so I couldn't see the chicken, like...
So you didn't cut their heads off? You just
No, you just...
Put them in a bag and put them against a tree or something?
No, you take them in, like... Because it was in a bag, so that nothing... I don't know, whatever. I'm telling you the truth. I know you're laughing.
No, I'm laughing because
they swung the head because they broke the neck to kill him.
Oh, so they grab the head and they go...
Like that in the bag so that it's not, like, all over the...
Oh!
That's right. So I remember the one specific time.
How old are you?
10, 11.
Oh my gosh.
I'm 34. Yeah.
Well, no, it's... Wow.
It freaked me out.
Yeah, 10 years old.
It freaked
looking
me
at
the
chicken.
fuck out, right?
Yeah, of course.
So then at that same one,
yeah,
she was sitting at the edge of the table and they were saying some prayers or whatever. And she kept scribbling on like this pad, and it was just like this. And she was like she was freaking out. Like I thought she was freaking out.
Did she do the eye thing?
She like rolled back and like it was all over. And I'm like, okay, freaky. I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, when you're 10 years old, it has to be scary.
Yeah, 11 years old, something like that. So I didn't want to be a part of that.
Okay.
But
did it work?
We got out of a funk for a while. We did.
Now, do you think that has a lot to do with I guess you can call that what would you call that? Not a seance. That would be after that event, because I can't think of the name.
Again.
With a word,
With a word. Mm-hmm. Words are difficult.
Yeah. After that event, do you think that was kind of like a placebo? Like where you sat there and you're like, well, we did this, so now everything's going to go our way.
I think my parents felt more that way.
Okay.
Me, I was just like, what the hell is this?
You were like,
I was freaked out. I was freaked out.
Oh.
We also had mirrors that were when we hung mirrors against like the doors, we'd put the actual reflective side against the door so that it would, if any harm or any negativity or anything would try to come in our house, it would hit the mirror and bounce back out. So we always had mirrors and like that kind of stuff.
So you had mirrors positioned specifically for that purpose.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you had like mirrors to brush your teeth and.
Right.
Okay.
But like for the front door, we had a mirror hanging on the front door with it out, like outward. We wouldn't see the reflective.
I get it. Wow.
There were just little things, right? So I got totally
freaked
out.
Where'd you grow up?
Where?
Yeah, here?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
All over the northwest suburbs.
Okay.
22 years in Palatine, but...
So, no neighbors saw you, like, laying chickens down in a triangle? And...
Not at 3 o'clock in the morning on a summer solstice. I don't know when it was. It was during... I don't remember. But you had to do it at a certain time of night. 3 o'clock, you know how they say, like, that's when all the demons come out, blah, 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 whatever. You know, it's
I didn't
like,
know that, but
3
I always thought
3
it was like
o'clock
after
is the hour of the...
The witching hour?
The witching hour.
Is that... I thought it was noon. I thought it was like 12.
No, I think it's 3. 3 a.m.
Or midnight is what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 3 a.m. So, after seeing all that, like I didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't want to be crazy. I didn't want to be looked at as crazy.
I totally get that.
So
Plus, if you're not buying into it,
no.
Like I think part of religion there has to be a buy-in to.
You have to believe in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the spiritual part of it though is like, all right, we're doing all these things and we're trying to cleanse our bodies and we're trying to do these things. And
what would you do to cleanse your body?
My mom she cracked an egg over my head in the bathtub so that the yolk would run down and like, oh, it's like a baptism almost, you know, like a form of a baptism. Oh,
from the chicken that you killed?
Probably. I don't know. No. Yeah, there was some. I would be standing in the middle of.
No, look, I'm not laughing or making fun of you.
No, but these are things that you.
I find this fascinating.
You wouldn't
really
hear
do.
from just a regular old Caucasian.
Yeah. Okay. So the exorcism, that wasn't the juju thing you're talking about, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was. So you were exorcising the bad mojo from the house out.
Or whoever was trying to put harm on us.
Okay. All right.
Right.
So. This Ruth girl was kind of like your sorceress supreme.
Basically, our spiritual advisor.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only way that I can think of something.
Now, did Ruth have a full-time job?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't
so
know. She lived in Chicago in like one of the 3 flats.
This lady would just come over and say, "Oh, you got."
It's kind of like saying to tell your priest, "Come over and bless the house."
Oh. Except they do it with chickens and eggs
and that other
What other weird stuff?
That's the most that I can remember.
What about Christmas? Did you guys celebrate Christmas?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What about Christmas?
Well, it just seems to me like you wouldn't celebrate it because that seems to me
still
more
Christ. It's still Christ, and the day that he was born and all that. Like, it's still, like, we're still Catholic.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I was baptized.
Yeah, but I've never heard of a Catholic doing the or
because that's something that's not a white person's thing. It's a Hispanic thing.
Really? Okay, I didn't know.
We still have Catholic, or
Catholicism. No, I know that. I've most.
But it's another part. It's a different
interesting.
Part.
So is that like
an old school part?
Okay.
I wouldn't do that now, but that was like the old school.
Have you ever had a moment in your life where you felt like, oh, well, maybe I should get some chickens and do this, or maybe I should call Ruth over and. No? Okay, you've never had one of those moments?
There are things that I know that I could do, that I've thought about doing, that I haven't, but I've talked to other Hispanic girls, and they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Really?
So
okay. So does it have a name?
No, just little things that we could do, like...
Because I can't tell you who did this, but I can tell you what they did.
Okay.
Because when I had to pull teeth for her to tell me this. Okay? But she was having a problem with somebody at work. Mm-hmm. Okay. And she wrote his name, or she went to an advisor, like one of your spiritual advisors, like a medium, and they told her to write his name on a sheet of paper, put it in you're smiling. Have you heard this before?
Keep going.
Okay. They put it in a ice cube tray, fill up it, put it in your freezer, and leave it in your freezer.
Are you sure I'm not the one that told you this years ago?
You've done this too? Have you done this?
That's exactly what it is. You have to put their name and your name and put your names against each other, but like not facing each other. So like here's your name on this side and here's your name. So the back sides.
Okay.
So that, and put them in the and put them in like a can or something with water and freeze it. Put it in the back of your freezer. So that way there's no more issues, no more. It's to freeze the next.
So this girl I know was getting sexually harassed at work.
Okay,
that was not me. Horrible, I guess, to the point where she felt she had no choice. Okay, the next day he got shipped to South Dakota or Fargo, North Dakota. I don't know where Fargo is. Fargo is either in South Dakota or North Dakota, but he got shipped there, and I think she wasn't allowed to take it out like that can.
No, you can't. You got to. We had so many freaking little cans.
25 years later, she ended up taking it out and throwing it out or something like that. But when I heard about that, I'm like, what?
Yeah, what? That's exactly something that I've thought of in the more recent years to do, and I'm just like
the weirdest thing I've ever done personally for religious reasons was take Saint Joseph, that little statue. Mm-hmm. Bury him upside down with him facing the house, and that's when I'm trying to sell my house. And then like you're supposed to sell your house, and like you're supposed to say a prayer, and then like within 5 days you sell your house, and it actually worked. And we had to go back and dig them out.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only weirdest thing I ever did.
Yeah.
That worked.
So.
Oh, you going crazy.
I'm gonna tell you.
Cool.
Okay, because have I seen you since my mom died?
No, I'm actually confused. Did your grandmother die first?
Yeah, my grandma died 11 years ago.
Okay, and your mother died recently.
Last month.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
So
to hear
I have
that.
not seen
you have not.
So this is where I'm glad that we're going to talk about this now, because this is where it all circles back. Okay.
What all circles back? What?
Ruth said that if I opened myself up a little bit.
Yeah.
To that all spiritual shit. Okay. That I would be more powerful than her. And she seemed to be pretty powerful, whatever. So.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
What made her powerful?
This is what I was going to tell you.
Okay.
So in her house in Chicago, you know how like the old like the 3 flats or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have like, this is her house. The kitchen, the main living room, and then like the dining room or whatever, right? But it had arches between each room. So there were no doors. Yeah. It was all arches. So what would happen is that, and there were windows all across this side, so it should be all just very nice and bright. Okay. So the kitchen was always bright, and that last part was always bright. Even though all the windows were still, there's enough windows, like an equal amount of windows, right? But that center one, it was always dark. It always seemed darker. Okay. So what I had remembered is she had said, don't ever go to the back end of that part of the room. So there was like these 2 doors that were over here, and those were the 2 bedrooms. Like one of the 2 bedrooms, I guess, were back there. But that spot specifically, she had her altar right there in between the 2 bedrooms.
What do you mean her altar? Like what was there?
All the candles that I was talking about earlier.
Okay. So not like a goat's head or something like that. Not that.
I don't know. No.
Okay. No. You never went back there to find out?
No, because I was so scared. Yeah. Because it's you know how like you walk into a room.
Did she tell you what would happen if you went back there?
Can you let me talk?
Sorry.
God, it's like it's like we're doing a haircut here.
I'm excited.
I know. Let me tell you. So, you know how, like, sometimes you can just go into a room and you just feel like you're being watched? Like, you just have that feeling or something, or you just feel like a heaviness or something. That's what it felt like when you're walking through this house. You're fine, you're walking. That middle area, you're just like, dude, you feel uncomfortable. And then you walk back out and it's like, okay. She called it el muerto, the dead. That there was a spirit that she had done through an exorcism that she had trapped in that back. But you could this is what scared the hell out of me, right? I sound crazy. This is why I don't talk about it.
Are you talking about recently? Like
No. This is all when I was young.
Okay.
This is all before I was 11 years old.
All right.
But it freaked me out.
Yeah.
But I could feel something. And I couldn't figure out what it was, and then it turned out that it was this spirit that was a demon. It was a demon. It was a bad demon that she had gotten out of somebody.
I haven't met a good demon.
Right.
I haven't met a demon.
Well, I mean, at Six Flags, the demon there, he's pretty cool. Hell, whatever his name is.
No, it's still scary.
He's cool. He's cool.
It rocks. It rattles. It's scary.
It's fine. So, when she kept telling my mom and my grandma that if I were to just open it up, I'd be more powerful than her. I don't want some fucking dead guy or dead demon thing in my... Talking to me. I don't...
So you think you have the power... And I'm not making fun of you.
No, I know.
So you think you have the possibility of being like the Sixth Sense person.
They thought.
Or they thought.
They thought.
But you obviously thought too because you didn't want to open up.
No, I don't know. I just thought it freaked me out. I was 8 to like 12 years old. That was like the time frame that I remember of like all of this happening.
Yeah.
When my grandma...
I got chills, girl. That's...
Okay, you didn't know me when my grandma was alive, okay?
Okay.
When my grandma, she was here from May 21st to June 22nd of 2007.
Okay.
And my grandma, when she lived in Florida, she would come here over the summers to help out with me and my sister to watch us, right?
Yeah.
And it was right before my sister's 16th, I think it was. And 2007, whatever. So I had told her on June 22nd, I said, and we had taken a lot of pictures that specific time frame that she was there. She was supposed to come back for my sister's birthday in October.
Okay.
And I called her and I said, don't go back. And I said, you're going to fall, you're going to hit your head, and you're not going to get better this time. I said that to her. I was just like, please don't leave.
Yeah.
I loved my grandma. She's the one that raised me, okay? Yeah. And she's like, oh, Cristina, like, I'm going to be back, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. So August 28th, I get a phone call from my mom of the same year, 2007, saying, your grandma fell, she hit her head, and she's in the hospital. And then 11 days before my 23rd birthday, that week before my birthday, but 2 weeks before my birthday, I was so like, I went to Florida to go see my grandma.
Yeah. She
started getting better. She started having, like I was helping her there. We were there for 10 days. And I looked at her and I was like, I love you. I was recording her, blah, blah. She was doing so much better once I was there.
Yeah.
And then, it was 2 weeks before my birthday. And I was like super, super sick. I don't ever call out of work. I don't ever miss work. Okay. Yeah. I just felt like everything was just like, I felt like I was dying.
Yeah.
But not, and that was like the worst case scenario. Like that's the only way that I could describe it. Like I felt like everything was just shutting down on me because I just stayed home. I couldn't function. And then, the morning that I went to work, I was like, it was like a Saturday, Friday morning, the 18th of January. And I'm like, and then now this is 2008.
Okay.
I'm on my way to work and I'm a block away and I'm like, I just don't, I want to call out. Like I shouldn't be at work.
Just a bad feeling.
I just was just like, I was so sick. 2:30 that morning I woke up and I was so, like, I was just vomiting. I was just bad. It was bad. Yeah. And I was like, I really shouldn't be at work. So I get to work. I miss my mom's phone call, whatever. I call her back and she's like, your grandma passed away. Abuela passed away.
So it's like you felt it.
At 3:30 Florida time.
Yeah.
Which was 2:30 our time.
Wow.
I woke up when she died. My mom didn't tell me that whole week she was failing that whole week. She didn't tell me anything that was going on. Like failing. Like her body was...
she was dying.
She had gotten resuscitated 4 times.
Oh, wow.
Her kidneys failed. Everything was failing on her. But my mom didn't tell me. I was like, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, I didn't want to worry you. Yeah. So that whole week, I didn't know. And the day before I found out, I went to lunch with one of my friends. And she's like, hey, how's your grandma? I was like, well, no news is good news.
Right.
And then the next day, my mom calls me and tells me that my grandma died.
Oh.
So that was that whole week, right?
Okay.
April 15th. This past April 15th. Mm-hmm. I go to kickboxing. No, I'm going to back it up. When the hurricanes happened in Puerto Rico.
I don't know when that was.
Not this past Okay, so not this past November, but the November before. Okay, so a year and a half.
Okay.
The first hurricane, which was Maria, came through, and that was more like a tropical storm. And then Irma came and destroyed the island, right?
Okay.
Most of the island. I was talking to my mom before we even knew that Irma was coming through. And I said, Mommy, she was supposed to get a surgery. She was supposed to get open heart surgery.
Yeah.
But she didn't quit smoking to be able to do it. She needed to quit smoking for a couple of months for them to be able to do it. And I told her, I said, Mommy, if it's not this hurricane or another hurricane or you not getting your surgery, you're going to die in Puerto Rico and I'm never going to see you again. Like, that's what's going to happen. February comes around, my stepdad calls and says, you better get down here because this might be the last time. So I'm down there in February of last year, okay?
Why is she in Puerto Rico?
Because that's where my stepdad and my mom retired, basically.
Okay.
My stepdad's mom lives there, and when his stepdad died 3 years ago, he stayed there to help her, and then my mom went down there.
I see.
You know?
Okay. All right.
So February we go down there, and they put her in hospice.
You and TJ?
No, my sister and I.
Okay.
They put her in hospice. This is right after the hurricanes. So, like, they have no hot water. It's just a shit show. My mom's like, I'm dying. It's like, yeah, you didn't get a surgery that they told you you'd only have 2 years left if you didn't get it. They said you'd have 12 to 15 if you would, but you don't quit smoking. So she didn't get the surgery. Now her lungs were not strong enough for her to get her surgery. So when I was there in February, I told her, I was like, you gave yourself your 2 years. Like, they were giving her until the end of last year because they put her in hospice for 6 to 9 months. And then the nurses came back and were like, no, you're not in hospice just yet, but you're going to end up that way, the way that you're going. You need to literally quit smoking. And I was like, okay, I'll quit smoking. Fine. When I left my mom, when I was at the airport and my mom was sitting in the passenger seat, I looked at her and I knew that was the last time I was going to see her alive. I knew it. I didn't know when it was going to happen. I just knew that it was going to happen because how often am I going to go down to Puerto Rico? So April 15th of last month, now it's been a year that I haven't seen my mom, right? I had talked to her actually in March. And I was like, Mommy, you sound so good. She's like, yeah, I'm great. I haven't been smoking, blah, blah, blah. This is that. I'm like, well, I'm trying to find a house. I want to go down to Puerto Rico in July and bring TJ and Nick so you can meet Nick and my boyfriend. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, you legitimately sound so much better because in February they took out the breathing tube so fast that it ruptured her vocal cords. Oh. So she didn't sound like her. Yeah. So the last time I talked to her, she sounded great. I was like, I'm really happy. I was like, well, I'm trying to find a house. You're probably going to end up, living with me anyway. Yeah. April 15th, a month later. I go to kickboxing. I'm doing great, having a great time. Go off to go see my boyfriend. And I get out of his car because we went to go to lunch. And I am so sick, out of nowhere. And I ended up having to cancel haircuts that day. I texted my instructor. I was like, Tommy, I can't come back for Taekwondo tonight. I'm laying on the floor. Like, I can't stop throwing up is what it was. I just couldn't stop. And I was like, I don't know what hit me. I physically can't even get off the couch. I can't even move. 5:30, my sister calls me. She's like, I need you to go and sit down somewhere. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, I need you to go sit down. I need you to be alone right now. And I was like, what's wrong? I thought she was going to say my mom was back in the hospital. Like, this is really bad. Yeah. She's like, Mommy passed away. She's going to be 27 in October. Okay. And that's when she said that my mom had passed away. Oh. My mom passed away the day that I just out of nowhere got sick. I called my stepdad. And he's distraught. Yeah. And he's like, she's told me to go home and go get, because she was back in the hospital. Right. She told me, go home, get me a towel and get me some stuff so I can take a shower. And they were joking around. He was like, oh, that's the stench. And she's like, yeah, And when he came back, she was dead. She was gone. Oh. So Now that's 2 times that I didn't know that I didn't know what was going on, and I am like physically just done. That's where it's like I go back to that whole Ruth thing.
Yeah.
That if I were to just open up my actual like whatever eye or whatever third thing or whatever they want to talk about, I already had it inside, and now years later I can see what they're talking about because it was just.
Do you feel? Because now it seems to me like I have a theory that like life kind of points or throws things at you every now and then. You need to pay attention. And I'm not going to sit here and say I believe it, or it's not my place to believe it, right? But for you, do you feel that you owe this, whatever this is, to look into it? Or are you scared? Or like, do you feel like there is this, like maybe I should open myself up to this. Maybe I should see what's going on. Maybe I should.
I think that's 2 times that I've literally told somebody. I told my grandma, you're going to fall, you're going to hit your head, you're not going to get better.
Right.
She fell. She hit the back of her head. She cracked her head so far open that they couldn't put her on a plane because of the pressure. She couldn't sit in a car.
Right. Because
she needed to be able to have pressure on her legs, like those compression things. Yeah. I literally said those words.
Okay.
And that is exactly what happened. And when I told my mom, if it's not this hurricane or another hurricane or that you didn't get your surgery, I'm never going to see you again. Okay. And for them to give her 2 years and she went 4 months past that, I don't know. But there's something in there. There's something. And it's not that I want to go pursue it. I don't want to go,
I guess
kill chickens.
That's what I'm asking. I'm not asking you to kill chickens. I'm asking, do you feel like you owe it? Do you feel like you owe it to yourself to check this out, to see what this is, to see what this could turn into?
I say if the
right. I mean, because it's almost like a superpower, right? So with great power comes great responsibility, type of thing. And are you running away from part of your destiny if you don't decide to check it out, or?
My boyfriend said he doesn't want to know when he dies. He's like, don't ever tell me that you're sick like that. I don't want to know when I die.
Yeah. Don't do that to me either.
Right.
Especially when you're like cutting my hair. Don't be like, oh yeah, you know what? You only have about 2 months. Don't do that shit to me.
But I don't know. I think that however I think that whatever my life is supposed to be, I think it's going that way, whether I'm in control of it or not.
Do you believe in fate?
I believe that there's, what is it, the butterfly effect, right?
No, butterfly effect is if I go back in time. And,
is that what it is?
Yeah.
And you touch something, like I turn that. Yeah, right. You step on something, it changes everything. Yeah. I don't know. I think that I'm making the decisions based on what I'm going through at that time, and. Okay, so I can always say, okay, well, what if I didn't go into doing hair? What if I did do this? I can't.
I'm not talking about your life's destiny. What I'm talking about is, do you feel like there is something inside you, okay, that is saying we need to check this out? Like I had something inside me for the last 10 years saying you gotta do a podcast, like, and I put it off for 10 years.
I think that by me having the conversations that I do with the people that I have on a daily basis in my chair, I think that is, if whatever I talk with that person gets out further, I don't need to do it to like fulfill anything for me.
Okay.
I don't want to go to be like, let me go to who am I going to go to? What
Ruth,
am I?
Right?
I don't know.
She's
She's probably dead by now.
You can't say, teach me, Ruth?
No, I wouldn't want to. I don't
okay,
think
so
I would
no.
want to. No.
No. But you're aware of it.
I'm aware of it.
You just don't want to become better at it or open yourself to it.
I don't want to be the freak. I don't want to be the freak. I don't.
Well, I think it would drastically change the way you look at life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's funny because my TV would turn into like it would turn to the Spanish channel every once in a while, just out of nowhere. And one of my friends. No. One of my friends.
I hope you didn't bring anything here.
I didn't bring anything here. one of my friends, it was me, my ex, my friend, my sister, and we were all playing Cards Against Humanity. Okay?
Yeah.
And the remote, it was one of those old, like, 80-pound TVs, because my ex lives in, fucking 1977. All the shit's from 1977. So everything's all big and bulky, right? So my old apartment. So it's that flat TV. Yeah. Big back, And the remotes were on top. My friend whose parents own a funeral home, who's grown up around dead people, and after the whatever, literally saw the remote fly off of the TV. All of us were sitting over here playing Cards Against Humanity and watched it happen after the TV turned
So you believe
Spanish.
In ghosts?
Yeah.
You believe in the supernatural?
Yeah.
Believe in vampires?
Well, why doesn't Dracula have any friends?
Is this a joke?
Come on, why doesn't Dracula have any friends?
I don't know why.
Because he sucks.
Like
He's a real pain in the neck. You know that, okay?
No, I like that. That's good. All right, not bad. Not bad. Do you believe in werewolves?
I mean, I'm also scientific. Like, I don't think that things really turn into, a human's gonna. Are you gonna turn into a werewolf right now?
No.
No, I don't know.
If I had a choice, I'd be a werewolf versus a vampire. I'd be a werewolf.
Yeah.
I think they're cool.
Yeah.
I like werewolves.
What is that? Is that Edward versus what's his face? What was the movie?
Oh, Twilight?
Twilight. There you go.
Twilight? No, I don't.
Oh no, I don't watch that shit.
You ever see the movie Underworld?
No, but I've seen. I remember previews of it.
That had vampires versus werewolves, but they called the werewolves Lycan or something like that.
Yeah, no.
But anyway, I would gear towards those movies more than I would gear towards the Twilight. But anyway, so you believe in? Do you believe in like Bigfoot?
I think because I watch a lot of Channel 11 and I watch a lot of documentaries and I watch a lot of things that are more on the scientific also side, I think that there might be things that we just don't understand what they are yet, so we name them something until we scientifically can figure out what it is.
Do you? Okay.
So
that's not a no.
Right. So like it, what would be considered Bigfoot might have just been some guy walking around trying to freak people out because, there's...
So a hoax.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound like you believe in Bigfoot then.
But I also believe, like, what was it, the Loch Ness Monster? How much of our oceans have we not been able to, like, discover yet? So there's a lot of things that we can see.
For sure
that's what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
So
I believe Bigfoot happened, but I don't think it's now. Mm-hmm. I believe maybe it was a giant, like one of those missing links that maybe happened in the 1800s, maybe early 1900s, but I think they died off
or it's like that incest,
yeah.
Right? Where it's like the genetic code of like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Like maybe it's something that
maybe it's just some sort of ape we didn't know about that's extinct now.
Yeah.
I would love to believe in it though. I would love to. I want Bigfoot to be real, but I don't think. I think it was a misunderstanding, and I think it's like I there have been times where I swear to God there's something been chasing me, and when I look around in the forest, I swear to God I see a giant like coyote. It's a chipmunk.
It's a chipmunk.
So what I'm saying is, if you're out in the woods and you think you see something, and you're like, oh my God, that's Bigfoot. Probably a wolf or a bear.
Right, a bear.
And you were just,
And your brain can see things. It can process hundreds of thousands of things all in one. Like right now, it's processing everything, but it's focusing only on certain things.
Right.
So if your brain already knows that you've seen that thing on TV, then it's going to process it back over when you're in the woods by yourself. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So it is. You're,
right.
It's just not.
But going back to supernatural, have you ever had a supernatural experience? Or would you consider the two moments with your grandmother and your mother a supernatural experience?
I've seen the water turn on, like at my old place, like just out of
your
nowhere.
house was haunted? So you bring shit.
I don't bring anything.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I'm not going to need a priest to bless this house.
I don't If things start happening now, you're going to have part 3 and 4.
Yeah, an exorcism.
An exorcism. No, I just...
Fucking chickens. And
Chickens, dead chickens, and...
But you've seen water turn on and off. Mm-hmm. So you've experienced supernatural stuff. Mm-hmm. So you believe there's another side. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Here's a little fun thing. Today, a client that I've been cutting hair since Long Grove, since before his son was born, so at least 6 years now. Excuse me. We were talking about a deli, and it turns out to be in Highwood.
Okay.
I was like, oh, dude, I used to live in Highwood. I used to live across Nightingale, and this is where my mom met my stepdad. And he's like, yeah, I lived in Highwood for like 9 to 10 months off of South Central, 117 South Central. And I was like, excuse me? And when we lived in Highwood, we lived off of High Street and South Central. And I was like, wait a second, hold up. Because I always remembered the street, never the number, right? And I was like, wait. There was a house that was a white house that was set far back with a really, really big front yard. Okay. Then there was a house right next to it. That was like a bluish gray house. And then there was a house behind it, and that's where the landlord, lived. And he's like, from what I can remember, he's like, I lived in the porch, like my bedroom was in the porch area of it. And I was like, you mean the sunroom? And he's like, yeah, I guess. I was like, the sunroom in the front? And I was like, and the kitchen was all the way in the back over here with like a living room area here. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, that's my old house.
Yeah, but that's not supernatural.
No. But that was like freaky, right?
Yeah, that's just...
That's like a...
crazy
That's
coincidence.
a crazy coincidence, right?
Yeah.
Turns out 10 years after we lived there, he lived in my house. My parents... Like that we rented, right?
Yeah, that's crazy, but that's not supernatural.
Hold on. I'm going to tell you something. Today, I went to go visit one of my friends at the bowling alley while he was working today before I came over here. Yeah. And we were talking about one of our friends whose girlfriend had passed away, and it was November 5th, which was my mom's birthday.
Okay.
So now those are two things that have just linked, like my mom and like my past into today. So like what else supernaturally or like what else spiritually is going to happen? That's with my mom today.
I see, but maybe I'm playing devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you think you're because you grew up in this world and you've seen some shit? Mm-hmm. Are you connecting dots that might necessarily? I mean, that's a crazy coincidence, but do you think that's like what is that saying to you?
I say that she's still here. I say that she's still with me to like try to say like, hey, I never left you. So, does that make sense?
That makes sense. Okay,
so like,
that's
if
how you're
something,
tying it together.
Correct. So if something were to happen, that's her making things happen.
I see. Okay.
Versus like throwing something across the room.
Okay. All right.
Does that make sense?
I think that's a less scary way to look at it. Right. Absolutely. I think that's cool. I think there are moments where I'll have a moment where I'm sitting in the car and I'll smell my mom, if that makes sense.
Yes, you're remembering something. You have a memory. And it comes back to you.
Yeah, and I'll remember that, or I'll smell it and go, oh, my mom's around.
Yes.
That's all I'll say. But I don't know if that's supernatural. I don't know if that's us
wanting, like reaching for something.
Yeah, like how much is wanting versus how much is supernatural.
So what do you consider supernatural? Like what is your supernatural?
Like we see a guy with a headless butler walk down the steps. We're seeing an apparition, or we're talking here, and for some reason I don't understand why kids do this, but in a sense I do understand why kids do it because they're curious and they're stupid at the same time. They pull out a Ouija board, and I think Ouija boards are I think they're evil. I don't think you should do it. I don't think you should fuck with it. I don't think you should fuck with anything where you can bring any type of thing in there.
All right, so
So
there's one specific one that.
Oh God, you've messed with Ouija boards.
No, I have not. No, I won't touch that crap. Yeah, no. I was getting out of the shower, and the way that my apartment is set up, my old apartment But now my apartment now
is this the apartment where you had the water turn on by itself?
No, that was my condo. That was the condo that had all the exorcism and all that. Like my parents had a condo for 22 years, so all of that stuff happened in that. I call it a house, but it's a condo. Okay. So the way that the apartment was set up, it's here's the bathroom, and then it goes right, straight into the kitchen. And then on the other side is like, here's the living room. So like how we said you would have like a bar open, a service window. That's how my kitchen is set up, right?
Okay.
And on the other side, instead of having actual windows, they're all sliding doors. Okay. So ceiling to the floor, all windows.
Okay.
Got it? Yeah. That's how my apartment's set up. I was getting out of the shower, and I walked into the kitchen. And my ex was sitting on the couch with his back more turned towards to see the reflection. Yeah. Okay? Because the light was on, and there's the reflection of the window. And he's like, what are you doing in the kitchen again? And I was like, what do you mean again? Like, I just walked in. He's like, no, you were just in there. Oh. And I'm like, no.
Was he drinking?
Oh, he's always drinking.
Well,
yes. But what I'm saying is he's like, no, Tina, like you were just in there. And I was like, no, I'm still in my towel. And I was like, no, I just walked out of the bathroom.
So what did he see?
He saw a reflection of somebody or something,
and he just
go in, and he thought it was me because he didn't turn.
See, shit follows you.
All right.
You're gonna scare me again with
something?
I'm
gonna scare you again.
What?
My mom had a daughter that was born on February 5th, 1977.
What's with this February 5th or 5th?
My mom was November 5th. My sister Sabrina was born on February 5th, 1977. She died 3 months later from a hole in her heart. And she died after the second surgery.
First child?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then my mom found out she was pregnant with me, and my due date was February 5th. And I came exactly 1 week early, January 29th. Fuck. Over the course of the years, every once in a while, I see like I don't see a face, I don't see feet, I just see a white. Oh my gosh!
You say you think you see your sister?
I think I see my sister. And I saw it in that apartment.
That stuff is scary. I'll tell you, I had one moment. Okay, when I was a little kid, me and my mother were super close. Super close.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. People are going to be like, you want me to go to her to get a haircut?
Yeah, no shit.
Like, oh my God.
No shit.
I give really good haircuts, people.
Okay. So me and my mother were super close. And I don't know how we got on the subject. But I said to her, hey, whenever you go, I want you to come and visit me. Just let me know you're okay. Mm-hmm. She goes, what if you're too scared? I said, I won't be scared. Just come visit me. So my mom died. And I remember being scared of her coming to visit me. And I think and this is about as supernatural of a moment I've ever had. I felt she was in the room, and all I had to do was just move my covers down. And I'm 21. 21-year-old man in college, scared out of my mind that my mommy's here to see me from the afterlife. Right. So I'm up there, and I remember like shaking, scared, so scared that she's there, right? And I don't know what the hell I had to be scared of. It was my mom. Right. But I was still freaking out, and I thought I wouldn't freak out, but I was freaking out. And I remember yelling, I'm not ready, don't come, I'm not ready. And I instantly felt better, and I put my thing, so I think she left. Wow. Or it was just a mind fuck in my head that day. Right. I don't know.
My mom said
that's as close as I had, though.
She's like, her joke was, all right, well, once I go, just remember I'm going to be watching you, so don't be doing different positions like watching, yeah, right? Like that kind of stuff.
Well, my mom did that too, embarrassing a couple of my friends, a couple of my girlfriends.
Damn. But I have, it's not like The Ring, right? Where the chick is coming out of the TV and it's just, nothing like that. It's just a glimpse of like, it's not like I'm staring at, it's not like there's somebody staring at.
Are you talking about the shadow people?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You see shadow people?
Like, I've seen things. I'm not, and it's not this.
Oh, I know.
I told you I didn't want to drink.
This stuff freaks me out. I didn't. Because I think it freaks me out because I believe in supernatural. I think you have to believe in, if you can believe in if you believe in any type of religion, if you believe in God, if you believe in an afterlife, then there has to be ghosts and supernatural stuff out there.
So you remember how you said that today it was just like you just like kind of you just needed to lay down and whatever. This weekend, if you notice around this time of the year, Memorial Day, it's always rainy.
Yeah.
I think it's everybody that's crying. Like spirits that are crying. Yeah, for me, that I know there's a scientific fact, whatever. It's the
no, it's not the scientific, but I'm okay. Here, right in Illinois, but is that happening? Is that happening in LA? No.
But here,
right? But
fine.
Maybe we're in our climate's different than does it happen in Arizona? Is it raining? If it rained everywhere in the entire world, yeah.
Or how about this? Okay, how about this? For us, it's rain, but California has all these forest fires. Or this. But
is there a forest fire happening every single Memorial Day? No. That's all I'm saying.
I know, but
that's
the way I also look at it.
It's a nice thought. I used to think on Good Friday, I thought it always rained. And in fact, I think this was the first Good Friday it hasn't rained. I'm sure I'm wrong, but that's what I remember because I remember telling my wife. No. I remember telling her that, hey,
instead
this
it freaking snowed the Sunday before.
Yeah,
we had a blizzard, because
Chicago. But anyway, I that's what makes me think, are you looking for this a little bit more? And are you looking for it because you were told that you were going to be open to it? You know what I mean? Like, how much is that? How much? And I'm not saying I don't believe you. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that's the stuff I wonder. How much of it is you thinking this? How much of it is this is happening because you're open to it? I don't know.
And we never will know.
I think we'll know eventually. I don't think we'll know in this life.
No, not in this life.
But we'll know eventually. Do you believe in afterlife? I'm assuming you believe in afterlife, right? You have to. Yeah. If all these things are connecting, right?
Yes. So what I was listening to, where did I hear it? It was on the radio on the way home. No, I don't remember.
Sorry.
But no, it's okay. It's like you just put yourself in your own position of like whether you want to let it in.
Be open to it. Yeah.
Right. That's it.
I think a huge part of me does not want to let it in. I had a nightmare when we moved in here that could still very well be true. I don't know. Have you ever heard of the people that wake up and
they feel like they're falling?
No, they're paralyzed. They can't move.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I felt that way first time ever, but I was watching YouTube videos of people that suffered from that week, so I think that might have a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, there was something looking over me, right? And
how much were you drinking that night?
Not a lot.
Okay.
And what I can't remember I constantly remember is this urge of wanting to tear up this carpet because there's a pentagram or there's some sort of something underneath this in the concrete. I had that feeling the first night, never had it since. But I had that feeling the first night.
And you haven't done it?
No,
How long have you lived here?
3 years. I'd be scared to do it now. It's nice carpet. I don't want to fuck it up.
You won't fuck it up.
If I tear up the carpet to see and what if nothing's there? And worse, what if there is something there? Like, I'd have to leave this house.
And go on to the fifth. Although it is a beautiful house.
Thank you. But, yeah. Anyway, I don't even want to talk about that.
All right, so we're done with the creepiness?
Yeah, that's just creepy stuff. But that's wild that I didn't know you had that type of spiritual background, I guess you could call it.
I think the reason why I connect with so many people
is because of that.
That's my acceptance of it. Does that make sense?
Are you a good judge of character? Can you sit there and look at people and go, "No, he's a bad egg," or "He's a good egg," or "We're gonna get along," or "We're not gonna get along"?
I want to say that I am, but I also don't want to feel like I'm judging somebody. But when I know that there's these little red flags that just come up, and I don't feel like I want to be around you, then yeah, I guess so. And I have probably 92% of my clientele.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I cannot wait to see them. I cannot wait to have the conversations in the chair, and I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. And then there's that like other 8% where I'm like, all right, well, you know, I know you really like my haircuts, and I do like you, but like we'd never really be friends outside of like here. That's why certain people are only on my Facebook as clients. Yeah. There's only certain people that have my phone number as clients. Because I started off as a hairstylist with them. Right. But like it turns into more because we know when the divorce is going to happen before the person is going to tell the other person. We know.
So you're almost like a bartender.
Almost, and I can't get you drunk. I just make you look good without the beer goggles. But remember how when you told me, you walked into Vernon Hills and you're like, guess what? And I was like, she's pregnant. Yeah. And I didn't know anything.
That's true. Okay.
You know, like I just.
Did you know we were going to have a girl before I did?
I think I told you that.
Did you?
I think I did. I think I told you the Chinese pregnancy calendar is what it was.
Oh, you did? Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah. Which, that shit's fucking... it's on the money. It's on the money.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Or like, my friend that came in, he was supposed to come in today, but his daughter got sick. But...
Did you know that? I'm just fucking with
you. No. I was asking him for coffee. When he came in like 3 times ago or whatever... Yeah. He talks to me about his girlfriend and, you know, and we've been friends forever. Yeah. And he walked in and he sat down. He just had this, like, look on his face, and I was like, did you guys break up? He didn't say a word. And he's like, no. And I was like, are you getting married? And he's like, yeah. And I fucking smacked him. I smacked him because I was just
Why?
like, because, like, I care about him more than just, like, not that I,
Are you against the marriage?
No. He's only been with her for 6 months, so kind of like you need to know somebody. I think a little bit longer. So why is he depressed? No. He just had a look on his face, so I was guessing.
Oh, okay.
And then we went through, and I was like, seriously, like you've been with her for 6 months. I was like, the next question I was gonna ask is like, oh, when is she pregnant or when is she due? And he's like, September.
Oh, okay. So he's rushing everything.
And I was like, are you getting married?
So not only is he going to be a husband, he's going to be a father
for the second time. But what I'm saying is, like, I kind of just had that, like, I could read certain people like that. Okay. And that's why the second you just said, guess what? The first thing that came out of my mouth was, she's pregnant. Yeah. And you never talked to me about, hey, I'm trying to have a baby. Yeah, right. You never did that.
Well, I never do that. But,
I know. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just something.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like I'm pretty confident on my little spirituality, you know. Whatever.
All right. So we're going to transition a little bit from spirituality to... I told you that we were going to do this before the podcast even started. Do you believe in UFOs?
Yes.
Oh, have you had experiences?
No. I just think
you just believe it?
I just believe that we're one little planet in a galaxy in a Milky Way, and there's like hundreds and thousands of other planets out there, that this was just the one magical one that everything came together and we're the only ones out there? No.
Right. I didn't say alien life, though. I said UFOs, meaning they've been here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So do you believe the government knows?
I believe that people cover up things to cover up things to cover up things. I'm glad you're going to...
What?
So the one thing that I'm very upset about at this point in like just life and knowing that there's wars that are going on over here and over there is instead of everybody working together to figure out what it is that we're here for or why we're here or like where else are we, like why does Mars have, you know, evidence that there's life over there or whatever. Okay. The moon has evidence of there's some sort of life that happened. And the craters. It does? I watch a lot of Channel 11.
Okay, but what are you talking about for the moon?
So there's like a lot of there's like things that how do I want to say it? Maybe it is just Mars, but on the moon there's also evidence of like where there could have been like mountains and there could have been other things along with Mars.
Isn't the moon a piece of Earth that got ripped away from the asteroid?
Maybe it is just Mars. I don't know.
I can see where Mars. Why? Though I know Mars has water on it. It's just frozen and it's underground.
So if anything, and they all say that the beginning life needs water.
Right.
Okay, so then it is probably just Mars.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, there's other things on the moon that they're seeing that there could have been something else.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I think that we are naive to think that we are the only ones here. Mm-hmm. And with all of these governments and everybody fighting against each other and trying to figure out how to kill each other on this planet, instead of trying to figure out, hey, what else is out there? Because if all these scientists can, like, see all these different Earths, can see the black hole, can see all, like, our sun is a star. Right. How many more stars are there that are suns to another planet that could just have the Goldilocks effect, right?
What's the Goldilocks effect?
The Goldilocks effect is just right. Like, the porridge. Like, this is too cold. So
Earth is a Goldilocks. Okay.
Earth is considered Goldilocks, right?
Because everything
just perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're fucking it up.
And we are. Yeah. And we're not doing anything to reverse the effect. We're doing it to sustain what we have right now so that we can prolong it as long as we can. We've completely destroyed this planet to the point where we're not going to have that many more generations that are going to be here.
I agree.
So instead of...
Or you think so? You don't think we're going to figure it out?
No.
You don't have faith in that? Mrs. Positivity?
No, what I have faith in is that somebody has to figure out, hey, we're going to have to work together to try to help each other because we're all under one globe. We're under one thing, and we're fighting against each other for what? We can't take it with us when we go to another into another life.
Well, I think a lot of it stems from religious views. Mm-hmm. People look at
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And then I think there are people out there that they only care about the bottom line, which is their money. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you. I think we should all just take small steps, just kind of like you did with your life. Take small steps and create momentum to be kinder, better people. Yeah. But that's hard.
Because it's a lot easier to be negative. It's a lot easier to be hateful.
I don't think it's easier to be hateful.
It doesn't take as much effort.
It's easier to be selfish.
Yes.
Selfish can go into a lot of different directions, like you're saying, like hate and things like that.
Yeah.
But we were talking about UFOs. Mm-hmm. So it sounds to me like you believe that the government is the government hiding it, or what do you think?
I think that there's a cover up on everything. Okay.
Well, we're talking about UFOs.
I know. No.
I know we could get into skin. Right. We can get deep into conspiracies, I'm sure.
Very, very much so. But I think the technical UFOs that we are accustomed to, I think, are probably more military-based aircrafts that they are experimenting on, and because they have to do experiments on these aircraft somehow, right? Mm-hmm. They have to do nuclear bombing somehow. They have to test these things, right?
Yeah.
And I think that what we consider UFOs, unidentifying flying objects, that might be things that are way out of our comprehension of what military and what other things are creating and what they're trying to do to destroy our neighbors on the other side of the freaking, water. Right. So the UFOs that we're accustomed to seeing, I think, are technically aircrafts that they're creating that they have to test. I don't think it's the aliens. No, there's more evidence that something has been here, like circle crops or Easter Island. Like, there are ways that these people can maneuver these big, huge rocks to walk, right?
Right.
But the pyramids.
But what if those are? There is actual evidence, and I don't have the book with me, and I don't have the actual. I think his name is Graham Hancock. He's he's an expert in this. Mm-hmm. He's been on a couple of podcasts. He talks about how before the farthest date we can go, there were advanced civilizations before the meteor hit and wiped everything out. And wiped everything out, like slate clean.
Start all over.
Yeah. So that might be your answer to Easter Island. It might be those advanced human civilizations. Like maybe we're the third generation that's been wiped, and maybe we're the third generation. The last 2 generations have been wiped clean, and they're buried, and we don't know. We're just starting to figure this shit out now. With like, I think it's called laser radar, where they go up in a helicopter and they can laser radar like a force.
Yeah.
I think that's entirely possible. Aliens. I don't know if aliens are the reason we're here. Maybe they've spliced DNA. I have a theory, and it's one theory out of 1,000 theories I go through my head all the time, because I think about, I love this whole subject. So what if, like, the Greys, you know what I'm talking about the Greys? Everybody describes an alien with a big head, big eyes,
right.
small slit in the mouth,
Right.
no gender association, just straight out. What if that is
Our future?
Yeah, a millennial, or not our future. What if that's our future selves, or what if that's another dimension of us taking a different turn somewhere? I'm just saying, what if? I mean, we're playing the what if game right now.
So
anyway.
now we're gonna go right back to this one person described it this way, right?
Yeah.
So then they created an image that you and I can see, and now that's in our brain.
Okay.
And now we are subconsciously thinking about it, and now we think the Bigfoot thing, right?
Yeah.
That's the alien, and now everybody's seeing like a big head with the slender body and that kind of, like, it's already embedded in your brain somehow.
I see what you're saying.
So now you're not looking for it, but like you're gonna automate your
You're
brain.
You're gonna see it faster than
what your brain can truly process, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then they think, oh, well, that's what I think it is. So
it sounds like to me you don't think aliens have come here.
no, I think something has been. I mean, something has been here to help. Something has been here to do something.
Do you know there's a recent study that people think that octopuses are not of this earth, that they like came thousands of years on, like they were their cell structure or whatever it is, or
Jellyfish can't die, or jellyfish are the only immortal.
Yeah. But they have I think everything here on this earth has some sort of a similar genetic code somewhere.
There's four things to every genetic code.
Yeah,
correct.
The only thing that does not are octopuses. They don't share it with anybody else. From what I've understood, and maybe I'm talking bullshit again. I'm a dummy with a mic. But this is stuff I've heard, that they think that maybe like their DNA or their bacteria, however they started, because we all started from single cell organisms.
Correct. Yeah.
That they hitched a ride on a meteor, and that they're some sort of species.
There is an episode of South Park, and I loved watching South Park, and it was the episode where the aliens or whatever were watching Earth.
Okay.
And
imagine that.
Right? That was their TV show. Earth was their TV show.
Right.
Okay?
I'm sure.
So, 4 boys go up there, and Kyle and Cartman or whatever are up there, and Kyle's like, they see all of these TVs, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a planet of all zebras, and a planet of all, fish, and a planet of all this or whatever. And then Earth is because they threw everybody together just to see what happened. Like the real world.
Oh.
That was a very interesting...
That's an interesting point.
I
think if aliens... I've heard a really interesting point, that if aliens were viewing us from their planet, what they're viewing right now are dinosaurs. So they're viewing our past. Somehow it works like that. Like, if
because the light travels,
if they have a super duper powered telescope that can look all the way into Earth from their planet, they're seeing dinosaurs right now, and they're going, "Fuck that! We're not going over there. Those things look mean."
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, there's like people.
I think. I read something like that. I don't know if that's...
It's because light travels faster than sound, or so like the speed of light, right?
Yeah.
So
or light years.
Light years, right? So like right now they're watching a black hole that they think they originally the scientists thought black hole has no matter. There's nothing in. Right. Actually, now with the technology that we have now, they can see that
the first time we saw it.
Yeah, they can see that it looks black to us because we're reflecting the light, right? Right. But there's actually things in there. And
Really?
It's exploding out. It's going to eventually suck. But now where did all of that come from? Like, it's like looking at a marble. It's looking at a marble.
You ever see The Men in Black? Ever seen Men in Black, that movie?
Yeah.
The ending where they pull back and they find out our entire universe is in the
marble.
Yeah, in a marble with a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
I never looked at marbles. I've always looked at marbles differently.
Yeah.
Now, ever since I saw that. But yeah, it's interesting stuff. It's crazy. I didn't know you watched that much stuff, like PBS and all that stuff.
That I actually watch that and cooking a lot more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that watching the Kardashians is going to make me any smarter.
No, I think the worst thing that the Kardashians. Okay, I'm not going to really rip on them because what they've done is they've taken advantage of their opportunities and they've built an empire. Correct. And I can't fault them for that.
For people who allowed themselves to get into that.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people like to. I think that's how movie stars are made. I think people like a certain person, and maybe they see themselves in it. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I just know that, like, there are people. Like, I think. Like, I like Ryan Reynolds. Like, when I watch him, I'm like
Toon Glass, man.
Yeah, I'm like, that guy's kind of cool.
And him and his wife.
So I kind of root for him.
Yeah, him and his wife are so, like, jokesterly and and they have such a great, like, they cut each other out of photos and, like,
they don't take themselves seriously.
But that's what keeps that kind of relationship, going.
Absolutely.
And I think they're hilarious.
Yeah.
So.
But what I'm saying is, I
don't
think,
follow him on Twitter or anything.
I think those are how a lot of people look at the Kardashians. And I think unfortunately, they've turned into our royalty, which is ridiculous. Like, you know how the Kennedys used to be our royalty?
Good, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say good.
I stopped myself from saying what I wanted to say, but yes.
But they were our royalty.
Yeah.
And I think, like, the Kardashians are the new, maybe, social media, reality TV royalty.
You know that Khloe is O.J. Simpson's daughter, right?
I didn't know that.
Look at all three of them. Okay. Khloe is the only one that does not look like...
So you think O.J. banged his mom?
Yeah, because
what's your mom's name? Chris. So Chris and whatever his name, Kardashian, whatever the husband, right? David Schwimmer in the show. David Schwimmer was the Kardashian dad.
Oh, was he? I didn't.
You didn't watch that O.J. Simpson movie on TBS? Oh no, yeah, you didn't.
No, I don't have.
Yeah,
sorry. I'm Amish. Yeah. I make my own butter.
Right.
So, Chris and her husband, right, Kardashian.
Okay.
We're best friends with OJ and Nicole.
Yeah, I know that.
And Khloe is the only one that doesn't look like Kim and the other one.
Yeah.
They look like Kardashians, like the dad. Khloe looks more like a black, like a mixed.
Really?
Take a look at it. Yeah. And they were always together. These are just things that I just pick up on.
OJ, you think OJ fucked Chris? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know. OJ, we found out OJ's not really a great guy.
Oh no! Yeah. But if
I don't think Chris is that. I think Chris is an attention whore.
They all are.
Well, that's from the mom.
But see now, I don't find any value or anything that's going to make me a better person by watching that crap.
Absolutely not, yeah.
That's why I watch
Absolutely not.
Channel 11. I watch a lot of cooking. And TJ asked me, Mama, why do you watch that? I was like, well, baby, if I'm watching a program that I can then turn into something that I can help you with, why wouldn't I do that? So if I'm watching cooking, what do I do, baby? And he's like, you make me steak. Well, where do you think I learn a lot of these things? I do.
I know. I'm sure you do. I just liked how he said it.
You make me steak.
Yeah. So if you make me food, you make me steak. Yeah.
So what I try to do is watch things or take things that is going to make me be able to pass it on to whether it's him, whether it's you, whether it's anybody else in a positive way. So I'm like, baby, if you want to watch whatever... Arthur.
Okay.
I love the fact that he loves watching Arthur. Wild Kratts, Arthur. These are all educational cartoons and things that he's watching that I enjoy to watch too. So like there are some days where I don't have him at home and I'm watching Wild Kratts because now I'm learning about animals. And then so like when I'm watching all my cooking shows, the other day he's like, "Mama, do you want me to change it?" I was
So
like,
you like to watch stuff that stimulates you.
That helps me get smarter in some sort of way.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's good.
And then but I can then pass it on.
I agree with you that the Kardashians add no value to anything.
And I have no sense of fashion, so I don't have a booty like that either because I don't,
That booty's fake.
Completely.
That booty is 1,000% fake. Like you want to talk about a real booty that like actually fits?
Jennifer Lopez.
Correct.
There you go.
That's a nice one. Anyway.
And Selena.
You talking about that girl that got murdered?
Yeah.
I never watched. The only time I ever heard about her was when Jennifer Lopez did the movie.
So I remember the night that she died. My grandma was sitting on the on her like little love seat thing that she would always sit on, just crying.
Really?
Just crying. Yeah.
She got murdered by what? A stalker?
Her fan club chick Yolanda. All over money.
Stabbed her, right, or something?
She shot her. 1996, 1997. Because it just happened like 20 years. Like her 20 year was like either last year or this year or 2 years ago or whatever.
That's crazy shit.
And then I remember when Princess Diana died.
I remember that too.
My grandma was.
That was a conspiracy.
Yes, that was. Yeah.
Do you buy into any of that conspiracy? Do you buy into conspiracies, or do you? Do you believe in flat Earth?
No, I believe our Earth is round.
Thank God. Okay, because I think we were going to end the podcast right there.
No, our Earth is freaking round.
Have you ever seen? That's a real thing though on YouTube. There's like a whole bunch of people that believe in flat Earth. It's like a big deal. There's like some smart people. I shouldn't say.
What do they think that like when you go to a waterfall that's the end of the?
They think that there's like an ice wall, like in Game of Thrones. There's like this
I've never
ice
seen
wall.
Game of Thrones.
There's just well, imagine this wall as tall as a skyscraper. That's made of ice, and they think that once you go past that, you just see the edge.
Drugs do a lot of damage on your brain.
No, I think it's just people. I think people realize they've been lied to a lot.
Yeah. So then they try to find their own.
Correct.
Yeah. No, the Earth is round.
I also think they're wanting to be. Oh, I told you. They want to be those guys.
No.
That's okay, that's good.
No, the Earth is round.
Yeah, I agree. I believe in some conspiracy theories. I don't believe in all of them. Like I'm bringing on two of my brother-in-laws. They're big in conspiracy theories and UFOs. I'm bringing them on the podcast, and we're going to talk about that stuff. And they're like, they've done their research. Like, so that's going to be one of those podcasts where I just sit back and let them go. Yeah. And I'm just going to try and see what I can learn and see what I can play devil's advocate with and things like that.
But there's no like right or wrong. Not right or wrong, but like.
Well, there's definitely a right or wrong.
Yeah, but if you don't. There's never going to be 100% facts on every single thing. There's always going to be that.
You've heard of Operation Paperclip, right?
No.
World War II, Operation Paperclip is when the U.S. took all the Nazi scientists and all the Nazi engineers and things like that, and they basically cleared them of all their wrongdoing if they just worked on our rocket projects and stuff. The guy that I forgot his name. But the guy that headed NASA for years, that got us to the moon, was a Nazi.
Do you think we really landed on the moon?
Oh, you don't? You can be honest.
I don't.
You don't? Mm-mm. I think we did. But I don't think all of the pictures make sense. I don't think all the pictures... I think we did it, but I think... remember back in the 80s where you couldn't put a camera through a radar thing?
I was born in the 80s, remember that.
Okay. Well, I just remember, like, back in the day, you couldn't put your camera and your equipment through radar. You couldn't do it. It'd fuck up the film. Mm-hmm. Right? So, if you bring a camera up to space at that time, isn't that going to fuck up the film? Right? So, I think they went up there, and I think they filmed it to show later. But I think we made it up there, for sure. You don't. Why? What's your
Because
thing?
if we've already been there once...
Change my mind.
If we've already been there once...
Why haven't we gone back?
Why haven't we been able to go there again?
What if monsters or aliens were like, dude, don't come fucking up here anymore?
No, because I honestly think that
What's
if you
up
can
there?
get there... If you can
But
get
what's
there...
up there?
I don't know. But if you can get there once, what happened that you can't get there again in the last 40, 50, 60
Maybe
years?
it's... Well, okay, if it's just a big rock, right?
Why should they go there again?
Yeah.
Because you can collect more data now that our science has advanced. So DNA, okay? DNA back in the day, they were able to swab it, but they didn't have enough. If you use the DNA that they had on that little swab, it would destroy. You could only use so much, and you needed enough back in the day, right? 80s, 90s, whatever. And now, 30 years later, they still have that little piece of DNA, but they can use less of it to get the information that they have, right? So why not go back, if you can, to collect more data from 30 years later, because now our science is going to be advanced even more to find out what else we could find out. Does that make sense? Does that kind of make sense?
I see where you're going from. I just don't think there's enough on the moon that we give a shit about. I mean, it's a good question. It's a legit question. But I don't think that if that is your only hold, if that's your only reason to say we weren't on the moon, then that's a little weak.
I think that the U.S. always wants to be the number one in power, and the reason why I could see how yours is like, okay, yeah, they went on the moon, but we didn't have they couldn't do the film, right? But I feel like the U.S. has to always be number one in everything, so we have to get to the moon first.
Has anybody else continuously go to the moon?
Nobody. So other countries are trying to be in the race for it, but like
still,
yeah, absolutely, yes, really? Yes, they're trying to get back to the moon. The thing is that you are Europe and I'm America. Okay, I know we're fighting or whatever, but if we're trying to figure out what else is out there, why am I not helping you? If I've already gone to the moon, why wouldn't I help you also figure out how to get to the moon?
Isn't that what the International Space Station is?
Yeah, but nobody's working together.
Everybody's
working against each other. So that's where I don't understand. Like,
I don't think everybody's working against each other. I think there's certain fractions like North Korea for sure, Russia
that
for
needs
sure.
To go away.
But I don't think like Japan's against us.
No,
I don't.
But why? But why do these other why does North Korea? Why does Russia? Like
North Korea's weird, dude.
They are. Well, it's Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Putin.
You hear some of the stuff. Well, Putin's a fucking gangster. Period. He's just a gangster. He's ex-KGB. You know, did you hear what he did with Robert Kraft?
What did he do?
He stole the ring. He stole one of his championship rings.
No, I did not hear that.
Yeah, you didn't hear that? Oh, I wish I could Google shit right now.
Why can't you Google shit?
Because I have nothing hooked up.
Well, why would you do that?
Why wouldn't I?
Like, why?
This is my 5th podcast now.
Fifth? I thought I was 3.
No, you're 4th.
I'm 4.
You're 4th and 5 because we had to do.
Oh, that's true.
Back to back.
Yeah.
You're my first part 1, part 2.
Because I have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And you thought that we wouldn't, like, you were afraid to get a haircut because we wouldn't have anything to talk about.
Yeah,
have you met me?
You're right. Well, I didn't know how deep you could get.
That's what she said.
Ah, that was a good one. I like that.
Got to keep that one in there.
Like that's a good one. Well, Putin. So Robert Kraft had his ring on his. I don't know what championship. It doesn't matter. They have like so many now.
Right. What's the name of the trophy though?
Huh?
What's the name of the trophy?
The Lombardi.
The Lombardi.
I think they're gonna change it to Belichick. I think so.
No, I think they're gonna keep. I think they're gonna keep Lombardi. That's
how many you guys have?
Oh,
that's right. He coached the Redskins. That's right. Is that false?
I don't know.
He coached the Redskins.
All I know. Actually, Joe Lombardi, which is the grandson,
is a New Orleans Saints quarterback coach.
Isn't that? Yeah, that's right.
He's coaching one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time.
Drew Brees is awesome.
Drew Brees is...
He's down to earth.
This is the guy that I would... If my daughter brought home a Drew Brees...
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I might marry Drew Brees.
You might.
Yeah. I would. I would have no problem with it.
I'm going to go back to one thing because the only 20 minutes that I was listening to from your first podcast is, so you're not gay, but $20 is $20.
Oh, you like that?
That was funny. That was funny.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He always had Mike Kurgan always has funny stuff to say. He always has a good way to release tension.
I think that's probably something that him and I have in common then, because that's the first thing you're like, total joke.
Yeah. But Putin looked at the ring, and can you do a Russian accent?
Probably not. No, I don't think so.
It would be like this.
Oh, it'd be like this.
No, that's Italian.
Oh, that is Italian.
I don't know. Anyway, I think he said like, hey, that's a nice ring. Can I see it? And Kraft gave it to him, and he goes, "It's mine now," and that's it.
Not like he
and
can't.
I think Kraft was a little scared to ask for it back. It was just like he just kind of took it and walked away with it, put it in his pocket, and that was it. Never got the ring back, and I think it turned into like it could have been an international incident if you fought for it, Robert. So just shut up. You have enough of them. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. Or you could just go remake one.
Yeah, you can remake one. Just let the gangster have the ring.
God, I love Godfather. 1, a little bit of 2, not so much 3. I just made my boyfriend watch Godfather almost all the way through because it takes a long time.
I've never seen the movie. My mother is a die-hard. She was a die-hard like gangster thing. I never
Scarface.
I never saw Scarface. Oh, I've seen Goodfellas. Goodfellas is excellent.
You've never seen Godfather?
I've never seen Godfather. No. Never had
I have
an opportunity. Really. I remember the guy freaking out.
Because of the horse on the bed.
Yeah, I was probably TJ's age, and I saw that, and I thought, I don't think I need to see this movie.
So, when are you going to get your hair cut?
I don't know.
Tomorrow?
No. Are you working tomorrow?
Yeah.
Probably not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe. How long are you working?
10 to 4.
Probably then. I don't know.
I'm gonna bring my
You
DVD.
The Godfather?
And can you do me a favor and sit down and watch the 6 hours of it? It's not 6 hours.
I was gonna say, are you fucking
It's
nuts?
like 4.5, but it's fine.
It's 4.5 hours?
You're fine.
People stood in the theaters or sat in the theaters in the 70s and watched a 4.5 hour movie.
It is.
Look, I get it's a masterpiece, but
it
4.5 hours.
But you.
What is this,
insane.
director's cut? Are you giving me the director's cut?
This is the entire
or the theatrical version?
No, I don't know what the
director's cut means. Like the director didn't want to really cut this, but he had to cut it to fit a movie time. But now that it's on DVD, he can make it as long as he wants.
This is the entire movie from start to end. Just everything.
No, I'll give it a shot.
Now, mind you, when it's on TV, they condense it down to 3 hours.
That's what I'm saying. So you're losing what, an hour?
I would say about an hour and a half or so.
God, that's gonna take a while.
That's okay, but I will give it to you, and then if it takes you a couple of haircuts to give it back, that's fine.
Okay.
But honestly, that is one of the best movies. Number 1, number 2, good, and then number 3 was 17 years later, and you could do without number 3. Don't ever watch number 3. Okay. Number 1, amazing. Number 2, good. Number 3, not so much.
Can I watch number 1 without ever watching number 2?
Yes.
Or am I gonna want to watch?
You're gonna want to possibly watch number 2, but there's really no reason for it unless you care about the after effects.
Okay.
So if you don't care about the after effects,
did you like The Sopranos?
I never watched The Sopranos.
Okay. I tried to watch a couple episodes and never got into it.
No.
So I thought if I'm not a big fan of The Sopranos, then I don't think I'm gonna like. Because I heard it was heavily influenced from The Godfather.
Probably. And then the guy died.
Or is it all?
I don't know.
All
I never
gangster
watched
movies pretty much influenced by The Godfather and Goodfellas now?
I would say there is an influence on it, but not necessarily all of it.
Yeah. My mom was a part of that group.
What?
Yeah, there was a time where my mom dated a gangster. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want somebody coming knocking on my door one day. But a gangster that ended up getting cancer and dying, but she was almost in
Al
that life.
Capone.
No. He died.
Oh no,
of
he died of
syphilis.
syphilis. That's right.
That was
I'm
back
like,
in,
wait a
that
second.
was back in the 20s.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm like, wait.
But
Somebody that's reminding me of Al Capone.
She dated a guy, and she always talked about him. According to her, I met him when I was like 2, but I've seen pictures of him, but
You'll tell me off.
well, yeah, I would feel more comfortable.
You'll tell me during your haircut.
Not that I have a ton of listeners, but I'm just saying.
Like, are people listening to this at this moment right now?
They can't. It's recorded.
It's only recorded.
Yeah, it's not live.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I hope no one's staying up at 11 o'clock watching this.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't think it's 11. I think
it's 11:10.
It's 11:10? Wow, we're at an hour and a half. We're going to end this.
We're going to end this.
Yeah, we've talked 3 hours now, so...
Did anybody else talk this long?
No, you have the record.
I could still keep talking.
I know,
I didn't
we
have
could
to go
still
to
keep
work
going.
in the morning.
Yeah. So, thank you. If anybody wants to get a haircut, where are they going to find you?
The Sport Clips in Killdeer.
Killdeer?
Tina S.
Tina S?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tina, thank you. This was awesome. I'm sure I can get you back on here one day and we can continue this talk.
You let me know. This was fun.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much for joining. Everybody else, I hope you enjoy the show. Take care. See ya.